Live from Planet Lovetron. Thomas Game Podcast, episode 31. I go by the name of
DJ Rell Life.
And my life partner, best friend, my dog. That's right. You back.
They know my name. It's just Tiffany. They know my name. It's just Tiffany. It's
And again, this is episode 31. How you doing this evening, dear?
I'm doing good. We back. It's been a minute.
Good.
How are you?
Good, man. You know what I'm saying? Back like we never left. Oh, man. It's been, forgot how to do this stuff, man.
Yeah, just like riding a bike.
Yep, get right back at it, man. Oh, so you say you're doing all right?
I'm doing good. I mean, we had some personal things that we dealt with. We bounced back. God is good.
Absolutely.
I'm so thankful for you being by my side the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell y'all, I have the most amazing husband.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
I'm so thankful.
Thank you. And if this is your first time listening, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the red button on YouTube. Also hit the notification bell. You will get every notification to every video that we post. And if you already subscribed, and you listen to this, leave your comments, man. Like, comment, share. You know what it is, man. On the YouTube page. So let's get it, man. So
Yes. Oh, in Florida, early voting starts today. Make sure you guys go out and vote. It's so important. Please.
absolutely.
Vote. Polls looking crowded, so I don't know if that's a good or a bad sign, but
Yes, here in Florida, today is the first day of early voting. In other parts of the world started last week, so we encourage you to go out there and utilize your vote, your privilege, and make your voices be heard. This is a step. Go out there and vote. And also, being that this is a couple of things I want to say before we start.
a couple of announcements.
And this is the month of October, so that means this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes. Breast cancer awareness, ladies. Go get that checkup. It's important. I'm telling you. Do some self-checks. Look and see if there's any special rates going around at your local hospital, or I think most communities have the mammo van. I think that's what it's called. So be on the lookout for the mammo van. They offer special rates where you can ask them about it. Even if you don't have insurance, ask them about special rates for mammograms. Really important.
What are the age for
Any age, you can ask. Just tell them that you want to get a mammogram, and you can ask for a flat rate, which means you're not going to pay through your insurance. And just see what specials they have. I'm telling you, take advantage of it. We are in the month of October. I'm sure every hospital is doing something. I know our hospital is doing something where I work, so be on the lookout for that.
Okay, good to know. First thing I want to say, we want to send our prayers and condolences to anyone that's lost anyone from breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Want to, give our condolences to you and your family. And also, we want to give a shout out to the survivors out there. My mom is a survivor, 12 years. Love you, Mom.
All right, shout out to Mom.
It's very important. Ladies, go see about that.
Yes. And any age, don't think because you're young that you can't get breast cancer.
Right.
We're starting to see it younger and younger.
Right. And the second thing I want to say, I want to give a congratulations to. Let me get this cord away from the
Oh,
mic.
goodness. Please
To
tell
the
me you
best
are not about to do
organization
it.
in sports. You damn right.
I
The 2020 NBA World Champs, the Los Angeles Lakers.
knew it. I knew he was going to do it.
Shout out to LeBron in his 4th title.
This man is from Miami.
Shout out
I
to
guess that don't mean anything.
my idol is Magic Johnson. Thank you very much. My favorite player. Thank you. And shout out to our 17th championship. We are tied with the Boston Celtics. And yes, we defeated the Miami Heat. And you guys really thought y'all was gonna beat us. Get the hell out of here.
This is why we are so divided as people. But
Jimmy can get a haircut now.
okay.
The hero ain't nothing but a sandwich. Get him up out of here, man. Bunch of clowns, man. We the champions, man.
This
Get
is
out of
why
here.
we are so is.
Get out of here, man. Anyhow,
Anyway.
enough beating.
Yeah, let's move on to what we got lined up for everybody. We have a good show. We're coming back strong. So, you ready to get into it?
Yes, what we starting off with first?
Long and hard, didn't you?
What we starting off with first? Go ahead.
Well, get on live. For those of you guys who follow us on Instagram, you'll see I posted some Q&A. So we're going to share those. It was interesting to see everybody's responses.
And if you haven't followed us on IG, it's the Thomas Game Podcast on the IG. You can follow us there as well.
Okay. So there was the first question. Well, a couple of weeks, I think it was like 2 weeks almost, we posted, what would you guys like us to discuss on tonight's podcast? So here's one of the topics. Metrosexual men. Do women like it?
Explain that for people who may not know what that is.
That was a good one. I don't know who came up with it, but metrosexual men, I guess you can define it as a straight man that's sensitive, but he's very peculiar. No, very peculiar about...
He a punk?
No. How he looks, his fashion, his appearance,
pretty boy,
grooming. He probably has a weekly appointment as far as getting manicures and pedicures. Oh. You know,
he bleed every month.
No, he's just in touch with his feminine side. Straight guy, they're not gay. They're straight men.
He's sissy, but continue.
No, it's some men out there that like to get their eyebrows done and stuff like that.
Yeah, we call them sissies. Continue.
We're not going to offend nobody.
We're not offending nobody.
You kind of are. That's shaming people.
They punks. Go ahead.
There are some metrosexual men out there.
Punks, yeah.
Well, some women like it.
Pretty
some
boys.
Women like sensitive guys and men that they can relate with, go shopping with.
Wear the same clothes, same underwear.
Not the same
stuff
underwear.
Like that. Yeah,
maybe the tight fitting clothes.
Same G-strings.
No. Well, okay, we're just gonna get into it. We want to know what y'all thought about some of the women. If you guys like that, 80% of women said no, 20% said yes.
Shout out to the 80% of the women.
I don't think I'm part of that 80%. I don't think I want my man dressing better than me or trying to look better than me.
You're gonna be in the bathroom longer than you.
Right.
So have you ever dealt with a?
Never.
What's they called again?
A metrosexual. So I guess would that be considered like a pretty boy?
Yeah, it would be a pretty boy. Give me an example of a pretty boy. What like
celebrity wise?
Yeah.
I would say
Ghost?
Shamar Moore. No, I wouldn't say Ghost is. No, I wouldn't say
Amari Hardwick. That's his name.
Yeah, no, I don't see him as metrosexual, but I do see Shamar Moore as metrosexual.
He would be in the bathroom longer than you.
Mm-hmm.
He would sit down and pee. Would he?
I don't know about all that, but I would consider him a metrosexual.
Okay.
But Amari Hardwick, no, he's a little rough around the edges.
Rough.
I don't think metrosexuals have tattoos either. They don't want to mess up their perfect body image.
Nah, I think they could. Well, I don't know. I don't know, man.
I feel like they're like perfectionists, very peculiar about how they look. What you think?
They shop at H&M?
They might shop at Saks. I mean, they take a lot of time getting ready.
What about you? Said what I think?
Mhm.
I think they're pretty boys.
Right.
I think they're soft. I think they're emotional. I think they're punks. I'm just gonna keep it honest. Yeah, that's what I think they are.
I think they're the guys that are afraid to get dirty. You know, they might not change a tire or cut grass. You know, stuff like that because they don't want to break a nail or get their nails dirty.
They would take an hour to get ready.
Right.
You know, that's what are you saying? Metrosexual.
Mm-hmm. Metrosexual. And the question was, do women like it?
And 80% said no.
Right.
But
so 20%. Let us know why. What is it that you like about a metrosexual? Sometimes it's the sensitivity though, because men lack sensitivity with certain things. I would say that I can understand.
But the reason why they are around is because some women like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like
20%.
Yeah. I think it's age too. I think more of a younger audience. Younger women probably like those metrosexual guys.
I can't even say it's an age thing because Shamar Moore and guys like Shamar Moore have been around for some time now. So I don't know.
That's true.
I've seen it for a long time. So I don't know if it has anything to do with age.
Well, you think older women like
I think
Those
women,
kind of
some
guys.
women in general, I don't know if I can pinpoint like the age, but some women like to have a sensitive man sometimes. But for me, that's as far as it go. Like I don't want you come with me getting your manicure every time I get a manicure. You know, if you decide you want to get your feet a pedicure, a massage, or whatever every now and then, that's okay. But more when you going more than me,
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna start looking at you funny.
When you're in the bathroom longer than your woman,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah. That's when you
So-
get your eyebrows arched every week, or getting them done at all. Things
Yeah.
like that. That's a problem. You
So
know?
that was a good one. Yeah.
If you spray your cologne, you walk into it. I think that'd be a problem too.
Well, maybe they don't want to know when you spray too much. That's when it's a problem.
Nah, I think if you spray too much, you trying to get a woman, but you just spray too damn much.
But metrosexual men are trying to get women. They're not gay.
What about they not gay.
Yeah.
They're not gay. Shop at Diesel.
But that was a good one. So another one, which I think we kind of all can agree with this one. Someone says, should a man be required to wear his wedding band? And the poll says 78% said yes, 20% said no. I think you should. I think both men and women should be required to wear their wedding band, regardless if you're mad at each other. You can't just decide that you're gonna wake up and like, well, I'm mad, so I'm not gonna wear it today. So that was a good one. Whoever.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't do that nowadays.
Yeah.
You get like, I think that's the age. I think is.
I can't even say
more.
it's an age thing because my parents, like I said, my parents been married for 40 years and they put their time in and they don't wear their rings.
Why not?
Probably they lost them, but they know
so-
what they have is real. They're not trying to prove it to anybody. I think it just depends on what it means to you. And if you guys have that understanding, as long as you guys have that understanding, again, don't let society tell you what you should or should not do.
So if you think they didn't lose it, you think they would have it on? I think they
Well,
would.
from what I hear, I don't know. I feel like you shouldn't make excuses not to wear it, but according to my mom has arthritis, so it was tied around her fingers. And I mean, growing up as kids, I've always seen them wear their rings. The older they got, it's just like they put it on, they don't. They put it on, they don't. It's just no big deal for them, and they don't make an issue out of it. But, you know, they're like the most respected couple in our family. So
Yeah, I
It
think
just
you.
depends on
I
what
think you.
that means to
I
you.
think you should, but I think nowadays, I think you see people. I've seen people have tattoos on their ring finger.
But it's still a symbolic
Yeah.
thing that they have between them and God. You know, it still represents your union, your covenant between you and God. Whatever you choose, whatever you decide, you know, that symbol should be.
I don't know.
I just feel like people shouldn't, when you're married, just wake up or you guys had an argument and decide, well, I'm not going to wear it because we're not in a good place. That to me is when it becomes a little shady.
I don't think it means anything about symbolism these days. I just think that if someone
No,
wants
I'm
a
just
ring,
saying
hold on.
that's what a ring is
Yeah, right.
supposed to mean. Now,
But
what?
But this is, to me, I think it's about the size of the ring for some people more than the symbolism, what it means.
Well, this question, let's stay focused on the question. Should a man be required to wear his wedding band?
If that's what they agree upon, yeah. If they have an agreement where they don't want to do it,
Right.
that's fine
So you
too.
think if that's an agreement between the two of them,
Yeah,
then both
I don't-
of
I
them
don't
should
think they
be
have
okay with
yeah,
that?
I don't think you have to go by tradition and society with that.
Right.
If
That's
they
what I
both-
said. I think it should be left up to the individual.
Yeah, if they both decide they don't want to wear a ring, so be it. But don't come back later on saying, hey, let's get a ring, or where's your ring? If they decide not to, that's fine. They know their love is real. They know what they got, you know.
Right. But you can't be, going back to this question in particular, you can't be one-sided, and you can't be, well, you chose not to wear your ring one day and your wife is wearing her ring every day. But that was a good question. Another one, should you live together before marriage? I think we touched this one before too.
Yeah, we have.
Absolutely. I mean, that to me is just without question. But 83% said yes and 17% said no. Guess if you're going by the biblical understanding where you want to live apart before marriage, I don't know who's doing that. I feel like you definitely need to know what you're getting into, especially in these days. You need to know who you're dealing with. And the only way you really, really, really get to know a person is getting up personal in their space and living with them.
Not just a person, just a lifestyle. You know, you want to see if you really are going to be about this life. being with somebody, dealing with someone else's personality, dealing with their habits, compromising, just the whole marriage lifestyle itself. So you have to be able to be around that person in order to see if you really want to be around this person for a lifetime. Is marriage is if it's for you. You
wake
can't
up next to this person, see what they look like in the morning.
You cannot know if you want to be married to someone in separate homes. It's just not realistic. I understand what the Bible says, but it's just not realistic.
But isn't it funny that some people like to pick and choose how they want to utilize the Bible and what they take from it?
That's a whole nother argument.
I mean, and that's fine. I mean, a lot of us do it. We're all guilty of
sinners.
it. Yeah, we're all guilty of doing that. But that's just one example.
Back in those times when they probably was born to be with this one person since they was, a toddler. That's how they dealt with things. But realistically, you cannot be with anyone, or you can't do anything without seeing what it is before you do it. I don't care what it is. We talked about this many times.
Yeah,
yes,
we have.
Like.
But it's funny that people still ask that, and people actually consider that. I guess it's common.
They lying to themselves. Yeah. 2020, you have to be with the person you plan on marrying.
Now, here's what I want to know, right? This is what I want to know. So, people out there, if you're listening, answer this. If you don't believe in living with or shacking up before marriage, do you still spend the night?
See, that's the thing. People will say, not moving in to get married, but you'll go spend the night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, if you don't want to moving until you marry, you shouldn't be spending the night.
Yeah, I think that's...
It don't go together. It's a contradiction.
It is definitely a contradicting statement. If you're saying that you don't want to shack up, but you're staying the night every other week or every other weekend.
I'm not saying it is impossible. Anything's possible. But in these days and times, you have to be around a person long enough to see if you want to marry that person. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what it is. You have to be around something to see what it is, to see if you can fully make a commitment to it, whatever it is. You have to be around it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
definitely. So the big question: do we have anybody online? Because this seems to be another.
It is technical difficulties online. I don't know.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
okay.
IG is bugging right now.
Okay, well, we'll just move forward, and then if you guys are listening out there, comment, let us know what you think about this next one, because this also seems to be a very controversial topic.
Before you go to that one, if you guys have any stories that you would like us to go over, whether it's yours or something you heard about, you could go to our email at the Thomas Gang 2020 at gmail.com. Again, that's the Thomas Gang 2020 at gmail.com.
Okay, so with this next question, I'm going to read the responses from IG, from the story.
What's the question?
And then I'll give everybody my opinion, and then you can give your opinion, whatever, okay?
What's your question before you get into it? Because I want to...
That's what I just said. I'm going to read the question from the story. I'm going to read the answers, and then I'm going to give my opinion on this next one. So the question was, what does being submissive mean to you?
Okay, stop right there. I don't mean to cut you off. Wanted to get into this because 2 weeks ago, social media was at a frenzy because Jeezy's fiance, I don't know how to pronounce
Jenny Mai.
There you go. Thank you. Because I didn't know that last name.
Jenny Mai.
You heard about that story? And I want to see if I could pull it up right quick to play it. So you familiar with it? What she did?
I didn't hear exactly what she said, but I heard people talking about it.
Well, basically, she said she doesn't have a problem being submissive.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, that's her relationship. Whatever anybody else's relationship, that's their business. And it started a whole hoopla about it. So
I think people have their own interpretation of what submissive means.
Of course.
So everybody's that's why I say it's so controversial, because everybody has their own understanding and apply to their lives the way they see fit.
Mm-hmm.
But we got some really good responses.
Go ahead, read some of the responses.
So one person said, letting your husband lead. I'm going to say that's from a biblical standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree with that. This one was funny. What does submissive mean to you? It says agreeing even when you know better.
Wow. Wow.
Don't do that. That was funny.
You know what? I found the clip.
You want to play the clip?
Yeah, I'm gonna play the
Okay.
clip of what she said. Let me see if I can get it going.
Going into my marriage, I want to submit to my man. Let me explain. When I hear this definition, like you just said, Adrian, submitting has a negative connotation. It means that you are less important, you are lower than that person that you're submitting to. It usually can be like, you know, referenced as somebody who works lower than you, and that's not what I'm referring to here.
Yeah,
but what I
that's not
really
cool.
learned in my life for my definition of marriage, I'm not saying what I want works for everybody. I'm saying for me, I'm a very dominant woman. I own my business. I lead my teams. I played my own manager, my own publicist, my own lawyer when I didn't have money to have those people. So I make the decisions in my life. When I come home, I like the idea that my man leads us. That doesn't mean that in this case, Jay makes all the decisions for us.
Jay
That
is
doesn't
Jeezy.
mean that when he says, I, Jeannie Mai, go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I like her understanding of it. It's kind of like the biblical meaning. Like in the Bible, I think to me, my interpretation is it just means order in your home. It doesn't mean someone is superior to you, or it doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion or you don't have a say so. I think it just means that there should be order. So meaning your husband submits to the Lord, you submit to your husband, and you just, to me, it's a respect thing. In the Bible, that husband is the provider. He's the protector. Mm-hmm. He goes out, he works, he brings home the bacon. Mm-hmm. He comes back and he, discusses things with you, respects your opinion, mm-hmm. but he's the leader. He makes the decision. And women, I feel like we have to trust our husbands to do that. To me, that's what submissive means. And I completely agree with her. When I'm home, like out there in the world, I'm going to dominate outside this house. But when it comes to our home, I don't want to be that dominant woman. I don't want to be, what do they call it? The alpha female at home. No, I want my husband to do that. That's what I think.
And let me, I agree. You know what I'm saying? I definitely agree with what you just said.
Like, you're the head, I'm the neck. We make decisions together, but
right.
You are the head.
Right. Let me nip this in the bud right quick. Like I said, I agree with everything you just said. The number one comment, no, not disrespecting women, but this is the number one comment by women. As I'm looking at a comment right now from that post. A woman will naturally submit to the right man. Duh. We know that. Mm-hmm. Like, the thing is, no one is asking women to submit to their boyfriend. No one is asking women to submit to some sleazebag or some lowlife or some guy who's just not a good guy, mm-hmm. who doesn't have morals or principles.
Right. You can't use that word loosely and generally. It has to be very specific to the person that you're going to be living the rest of your life with.
It says that in the Bible.
Right.
Like a woman is going to submit to her husband like a man is going to find the right woman to be his wife. That's mm-hmm. common sense. So let's just throw that out of there. Like, let's get that. I'm tired of hearing that. It's just stupid. Of course, mm-hmm. you're going to submit the person that you expect to spend the rest of your life with.
I think those are like, when people say that, women say that too, but I also feel like all men feel like they're deserving to be submissive towards.
Well, that's the thing. If you feel like the guy you with, that you plan on to spend the rest of your life with, is not a leader, mm-hmm. and he's not worthy of being submissive to, you don't need to be with that guy.
Right.
So that says a lot about you. Every man is not a leader. Some people are born with it. Some people have to grow into it. Mm-hmm. So if you don't see the potential in that man to be a leader, then you don't need to be with him. And if you're with him, that's your fault. Right. So let's get that out of there.
And I heard something recently that was good. Just like in any relationship, any job, a good leader listens to the people that they have under them.
Yeah, yes,
they don't just make decisions based on what they feel is best. It's a group effort.
You said it best earlier, and I've always said this because I've had this conversation for years. The S word. You said it earlier, and I feel like some women they don't understand it, and then the other ones do understand. They just don't want to do it. It doesn't mean some guy's gonna boss you around and tell you what to do. It doesn't mean
and
that.
guys and fellas, you also have to understand that's not what it means.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You know
Like,
what I mean?
it
You
doesn't
can't
mean
just tell your woman to submit to your every demand and you don't respect
fellas, you're not bossing around your wife. You're not making all the decisions and not listening to her. Like, what makes a great leader, I don't care what form of situation you're in.
Mm-hmm.
You have to listen to the people under you. That's what makes a team go. Michael
Right.
Jordan didn't win all the games by himself.
Right.
Everybody has to play their role. And that's what it's about. It's not about bossing somebody around. It's not making somebody feel like they're nothing less than a person. Because I'm the leader, I'm the king, I'm the head of the castle, but I come
That's
to
the
you all the
order.
time.
King and queen.
King-
That's the
like,
order.
why
That's
wouldn't
not
you-
queen and king.
Right.
It's
King and queen.
queen.
Why wouldn't you want to be a queen? You know what I'm saying? If you're a woman, I come to you all the time. I may be the king and the leader, but I respect you and value your opinion. I come to you all the time.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about, being respectful to each other. So it's not about bossing nobody around. It's not trying to make somebody feel like they're not worthy of to speak up or anything like that. Like, we have to get that out of our heads.
And because you're like that, I trust you. Like, I trust your decisions. I trust you to lead our house and to lead our family. To me, that is the biblical understanding of being submissive. Now, what you think, what other people think about it, I mean, there's so many different interpretations, but to me, that's what it means for us.
Right. Well, what happened is this new age of raising people, that word has been tampered and messed up, meaning the guy's gonna boss you around, tell you what to do, be a strong woman, do your own thing,
And they
that's
take the Bible so literally. Well, I hear a lot of people say, especially women, say that, that was back in the day where the women didn't work. They stayed home and took care of the family. Yeah, the Bible says the woman is supposed to take care of the household, raise the children, while the man go out, work, bring home the bacon. That's the woman that's usually submissive towards her man. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that if you're still living in that situation, but we as people have to learn how to evolve with time. It doesn't mean that you just take that out of the equation altogether. You just kind of gotta evolve with time.
Yeah, even though those days and times have changed, look, the fundamentals are still there.
Right.
They're not going
Absolutely.
nowhere. The fundamentals are going to be passed on from generations and centuries in the future.
Right.
The man will be the king and his wife will be the queen.
And the man's steps are ordered by God.
Right. So it just we have to be open-minded on both ends. For this situation, this is a problem for women. Well, for women, the women really jumped on this girl. Mm-hmm. And I think part of it also, I'm just going to keep it a buck, because she ain't black. Let's just be honest with it. You know what I'm saying? From her culture, I think I don't know if she's Korean or whatever she is.
Yeah.
Her culture they're really
Asians
Asian.
are very submissive.
They're like
without
that.
question.
Without even question. That's why like some black men automatically go to them, so they don't have to fight that situation. With black women, you're going to get a fight for the ones that don't understand.
Right,
It's just
but
honest.
I think it has a lot to do with the person that they're with. Like, both
I don't
people
think it's
in the
that.
relationship
I don't
have
think
to.
it's that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's that.
But I mean, I'm just saying, I think it's equally yoked. I think that both people in the relationship has to understand what that means. Like, because a lot of those women who are in those other countries, those men don't ask their opinion.
No, well, that's different.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's what I'm
different.
saying. It makes a difference on who you with. If you get a man that's coming to you and he's a God-fearing man and he respects you, naturally you're going to be submissive towards a man like that. But someone who's arrogant and always feel like they're right and has an ego,
you don't need to be with those guys.
it doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make them a bad person.
It
It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be with them. But I think that it makes it harder for women to trust them and to trust their decisions. I'm not speaking that's the case for every situation, but I'm just saying that plays a part in it too. It's something to consider.
I think that's more in this country. I just think that it's a bad stain and some women don't want to do it. They know what it is. They just don't want to do it. I don't think it's because the guy is such a way or this way or that way. They don't want to do it.
According to our poll, 100% said yes. They would.
They would. Well, give a hand to them. That's good that they would.
I said, married and single ladies, would you be submissive to your husband? And I got 100% participation.
That's good. I just hope that it's really factual. But we gotta get that narrative of, if I choose the right man. If you're marrying the right man,
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, if you're married,
him, he's supposed to be the right man.
He has to be the right man,
yeah.
and that is true.
If he proposed to you and he ain't the right man for you, you say no. Like, let's get that out of there. Like, it's some narratives that are just it's an excuse. Yeah. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, but that was a good one. And then another person said, when I asked,
I see another one. Be submissive to a man worthy submitting to. Duh. Like, that's the most comments that I see on this post with this woman. Come on, guys. Like, come on, stop.
But another person said, what does being submissive mean to you? They said, always saying yes.
That's see.
But I think people jokingly take it.
No, they're not.
I take it as a joke.
No, they're not. They don't want to do it. That whoever made that comment does not want to do it, and that's what they think. Yeah, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. And you can't be a Christian woman or child of God, you know what I'm saying, but you skip that part of the Bible. You know everything from top to bottom, but you purposely skip that part. Don't read it then.
But I agree. Find a man that's worth submitting to before you cross that line.
Right.
Make sure they're deserving of that.
And men, you get an understanding of it as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, know what it's about. It ain't about yelling at the person or I say so, I make all decisions. A team, you know, despite what Kobe said, you know, rest in peace, Kobe, there's no I in team. You know what I'm saying? There's no I in team. So it's a team effort.
Right.
So people out there listening, like, share, leave a comment on that about being submissive.
Right. And we're going to continue. I know you say you're going to get off live, but we're going to continue because we have a really good story that we definitely need y'all opinion on. And before we get into that, we should make a phone call. I want to make a phone call to one of my friends about another question that I posted. Okay. So
who you want to call? I mean, you got to say that. You about to call them?
Yeah, I'm going to call them.
You got it on here?
Do I, or do you want to call? Because I'm not. Yeah, it's on there. It should be. On the Bluetooth, you mean?
Yeah, you're going to have to put on your headphones so you can hear them.
Okay.
They can be able to fit over your head?
Wait, why can't I find it?
And while she's finding that, again, if you want to leave any stories, comments that you'd like us to read over, that is the ThomasGame2020@gmail.com.
Okay, hold on. You said I have to put my Bluetooth on?
Sure do.
Just bear with us just a moment.
Oh, boy.
Is it ringing?
I don't hear nothing. Hold on. Turn it up. I don't think your Bluetooth hooked up on there.
Okay, hold on. You want to give her a call since yours is already hooked up?
Nigga. I gotta see if I
The number is 555. No,
wow,
I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Wow. Hold up, I might have the number on there. I might. What it is? Let me see it. Oh, no. I don't have it. Let me see it. 976.
555.
Let's see.
We are so sorry. That was very loud.
Hello.
Hey, Sunshine. How are you?
This is the Thomas Game Podcast. You're alive. How you doing?
Doing good, and you?
Doing swell. Doing good.
Thanks for the applause.
Well,
No
friend,
problem.
this is not your first time. You already know how it goes. Would you like to introduce yourself?
You an honorary member. You know what I'm saying? You already know that. We drinking for you right now, too, by the way.
She probably drinking too.
Oh, what we drinking?
What we
Same
drink?
thing you drinking right now.
I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
you got a cup in your hand.
She like dark. Look at her.
You know, I keep a red Solo cup.
What's
See?
inside of it?
You heard what she said. Did you not hear? Did she say red Solo cup? That's another discussion, but he didn't know
No
what
one
Solo
says
cup
that.
was.
Yeah,
He didn't know
plastic
what
cup.
Solo cup.
Anyhow, go ahead and read her the question. Thank you.
But she didn't introduce herself.
Oh, would you like to introduce yourself?
This is Stephanie. That's it.
All right,
Stephanie,
Steph.
all
Let's
right.
go.
Woo-woo. So, Steph, we want to get your opinion on this next question.
Uh-oh.
It says, does intimacy decrease with passing years in relationships and or marriages? What do you think?
I think it's not a cut and dry yes or no. I think it's a combination of yes and no.
Right.
Because I think intimacy changes and it evolves. I think, initially when you're in a relationship, you think about the physical intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
And as adults, we start adulting and life gets in the way and you aren't able to, do it like rabbits. And
Right.
so you got to find other ways to be intimate. So I don't necessarily say it decreases. I think it just changes.
What way? Explain. What way does it change?
But she just
Well,
said
it stops just being so much physical, and you got to connect on some emotional levels, some intellectual levels.
right.
I mean, you got to be able to have conversations with people, with your spouse or your mate, so you all can connect on a different level. I mean, because intimacy isn't just physical. And I think that's what people automatically go to when they think about intimacy.
Right.
But I think, my definition of it is, connecting with somebody on a deeper
And
level.
staying intrigued with that person.
Exactly.
Right.
So, once you with a person and, okay, the physical part, that's the easy part.
Mm-hmm.
But staying engaged with a person's mind and keeping them intrigued, keeping them wanting you is difficult. So yeah, it may decrease if you're not willing to work towards that or develop new ways to become intimate with that person. Yeah, so it may decrease, but you just got to be innovative and find
You're
out
not comfortable, right?
Yep.
You can't get comfortable with people because that's when stuff starts to get boring and
Yeah,
you don't look forward to.
That was gonna be my next question.
Yeah.
What happened if it
do it
does
on
decreases?
purpose.
What happened if it does decreases? What are some of the consequences and some of the results of what happens? With it?
You're gonna seek, the person gonna seek what they're lacking from someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the person just gonna be unhappy, which is now you got you sleeping next to a bitter person every day because their needs aren't being met. So, I think it's just life happens and people don't know how to deal with life.
Right.
It's like, okay, you work a lot or you have kids and now you got these other priorities and it just isn't all day, you laid up in the bed like you used to do when you were first started your relationship.
Right. When you first started, y'all was going like rabbits. And it's funny. I hear people say who have little kids, that they don't have time to be intimate with their partners because they're too busy. I mean, they're both working, right?
Life.
They're both working. Then, one comes home, they're doing all the work. They got to do homework with the kids. They got to get the kids ready for bed. So by the time you go to sleep, which is during sometimes when most couples, have their intimate moment, you're tired. You don't want to talk.
Yeah.
You got to schedule sex.
Yeah.
Like when you start scheduling sex.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Putting your phone for the alarm to come on. Okay, hey, babe, it's time to have sex
and then
now.
you're tired, and then you giving that lazy sex. Like people start losing interest. I'm serious. Like you start losing interest in that person, and it's not the same when you guys first met or before the kids.
Yeah, I mean, and it becomes even the small things. When you initially start dating somebody, you texting all the time. You checking up on them. How you doing?
Stops. Then they start telling you they busy at work and can't text you back.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Before the chase was there, you know what I mean? The curiosity was there. And then it's like once you get complacent into a relationship, especially after years, you feel like you don't need to do those things once you have a person.
Yeah. Well, that's a part of the honeymoon phase too. The person on both ends gonna do all the stuff. They're gonna say all the right things,
stuff,
and then when they get you, it's like, I got you. I'm good. I ain't got to put in the extra work.
You get complacent, but like Steph said, you got to start finding things that, you got to do something different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Finding ways.
I mean, I'm quite sure who, all of our parents have been together for a long time. I'm quite sure they've had to figure out ways to make it
No doubt.
40 something years together.
But,
Like,
and also,
okay,
our parents ain't had
still,
social media and phones throughout most of their relationship, so they was able to miss their spouse while they was out working. You don't get to miss your spouse. You always calling, always texting, always checking on social media. You know, you don't really get to miss the person that you're with, especially if you talk to them all day.
And they, I think they keep more of a friendship more than well, maybe now more of a friendship opposed to just like. I mean, I don't want to think about my parents. Probably
think about somebody. Don't think about your parents.
That. But you're like you become that's your partner. You know what I mean? That's your friend.
Mm-hmm.
You all done been through all kinds of stuff together. So that intimacy, that is something else now. I don't know what that is, but I guess we all just strive for something similar to like, that because hell, they made it for 40 something years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pick
so
up.
They know something we don't know.
But like you said, I think that was important what you said about the friendship. You guys got to have that friendship and that bond first. You know what I mean? Like, friendship is really, really important when it comes to you and your significant other. Because if you're always mad at each other, you ain't going to want to say nothing to them. You're not going to want to have sex with them. You're not going to, if y'all don't talk and do stuff and date, it's just boring. Yeah,
it's like you said earlier, though. Let's imagine our parents being together for 40 plus years. It's like, the sex ain't going to be like how it used to be. So, it's instead of physical, it's mental.
Right.
It's, hey, let's, join a book club or whatever the hell, parents who married for 40 years do together. Whatever. Oh, Madlock about to come on. Let's,
they watch Madlock.
Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever
they get their coffee, they sit in front of their TV,
whatever
and they enjoy each other's company.
If they want to decide to go to Piccadilly or whatever, to go out on the date, whatever, whatever it is. Whatever it is. But, they pick up other ways to
enjoy each other.
Enhance their marriage.
Yeah, even their conversations be different.
Yeah.
Like they ain't talking about what happened in pop culture.
Not at all. They don't know what that is.
Like they start reminiscing on back in the 70s.
They don't know who Cardi B is.
Yeah, they keep those old memories alive because you go to my parents' house, they gonna tell you about when they first started dating, and don't come over there for the first time because you gonna get an earful. So they keep those memories alive. You're right. The conversations are different.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say, so my final answer is yes and no, it decreases. It depends on the situation and the people.
Okay.
You just got to make it work.
We appreciate that, Steph.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And also, probably the choice of liquor. You can't just keep drinking dark liquor for 40 years.
We're not going to do that. We're not shaming nobody. We're not going to do that.
Just, you got to switch up the liquor every now and then. Can always be dark.
Listen, I have refined my taste. I don't drink dark liquor. I drink white rum. Okay?
Oh, Lord.
Well, exactly what he's drinking now.
On that note, thank you for calling, Steph. You know what I'm saying? It's always a pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
As always, thank you. I'll send my invoice over.
Oh, the phone's messing up. I'm sorry.
That was a good one.
We got one more call here.
And 50% said yes, 40% said
said what?
That it will decrease.
Can't say this person.
Hello?
Do they know?
Hello?
Welcome to the Thomas Game Podcast. This person that we're not saying their name, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Finally.
Good evening, Thomas Gang family.
Good evening. Love the energy.
How you doing this evening?
I'm dying for this.
How you doing this evening?
I'm making it. No complaints.
Good.
I'm still alive.
That's right.
I know that's right.
What it's about. So read this person that we're not going to say their name. Read them.
Well, how do you know they might want to introduce themselves as something else?
Okay, you can introduce yourself, whatever you want to be.
Well, social media knows me as Jazzy J.
There we go. Jazzy J?
Jazzy J.
Jazzy J. Jazzy J. Nice. All right, Jazzy J. Go ahead and read one of those things to her.
Read the same question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or whatever,
We're going to give you this question we just asked.
Or the last one we did. Whatever, you want to do the last one, that's fine.
Okay, we'll do the last one. The one about submissive?
Yeah, read that.
Yeah, okay, because I think Jazzy J did answer. Yeah. What does submissive mean to you?
Uh-oh.
as a woman
Oh Lord. Anytime
to
somebody
my
start off
husband.
as a woman, it's gonna be bad. Go
No,
ahead.
it's
Well,
not. No,
well,
it's
this is the
not.
thing. I can't speak as a man because my DNA is all woman.
Hello.
So I can only speak for what my DNA has been created. So
That's
as
right.
a woman, being submissive to my husband means we talk about it, but he gets final decision. And I support, whether I like it or not, that final decision. That's what submissive means to me. As long as he hears my voice and take my feelings into consideration, whatever he decides, I'm going to support him, especially with the kids and the family.
Right.
That's how I support that we're one.
I like that because you
That's a good
consider
answer.
him the leader, right?
Exactly. He's the head. I was created to be his companion. Okay. So he gets final say. And plus, if you're a spiritual minded person, you realize he don't answer to me.
He
answers to somebody higher than
someone higher than him.
G.O.D.
Yes.
Me, myself, personally, I'm glad it's like that. Because then that way I can look at him and, okay, you the head, you make the decision.
And if
I
it
gotta
go
live
wrong,
with it.
you blame him.
No,
No, it's just a load
support
off.
him.
It's just a load off
Yeah,
of
no,
her
I know,
shoulders.
I
You
know.
know, it's just
Yeah.
a load off of
Yeah.
her shoulders.
Yeah.
not only that, that's how you support your spouse. I don't have to agree with everything that he says. My mind doesn't work like his. But as my provider, the person that I'm looking to, I'm going to support him. Because inside the house, what we discuss is nobody's business. But when we hit that front door, we're united. And I'm a firm believer in that.
Let me ask you this. What advice would you give a young lady, not even a young lady, a woman who feels different, who doesn't understand,
Or who doesn't want to be
or
submissive
who
to
doesn't
their...
want to be submissive to marriage? What message would you give that woman?
You're never going to have peace in your house. And if you're married and you don't want to submit to that, you'll see as somebody important to me say white meat dry. You're going to learn the hard way.
Ooh, that is
It's
good.
easier.
That is good.
Hold on.
It is
Say
easier
that
to get
again.
along.
Say that again.
You're going to learn the hard way that white meat's dry. I don't care what you put on white meat. I don't care how much gravy you put it.
It's gonna be
It's
dry
gonna
as hell.
always be dry. You're going to learn the hard way. See,
That
me,
is
I don't
good.
need to know that fire is hot to know that I don't want to be burnt.
Hello.
I already know that. And
Wow.
I've been on this earth a short time, but I've learned lessons the hard way because I wouldn't listen. So I have decided in my life at this age, just listen.
Right.
Things work out better. Sometimes I can say with my face what my tongue don't need to say. That's the point.
Girl,
That's why God made us with 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen more, talk less.
that's what the Bible say. Be slow to speak.
I'm a
be
firm
quick to
believer in
listen.
that.
Yes. I like
Be
that. I
quick to
like her answer.
Hit up with another one. Hit another question.
Wait, hold on. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
go
still
ahead,
stuck
go
on
ahead,
this
babe.
one.
Go
And you
ahead.
know what?
Go ahead.
We brought it up earlier before we called. I was telling Jarrell, I was saying, a good leader always respect the people under him. He don't just make a decision based off of what he feels is right without having the opinions of everybody else around him, who he's protecting for, who he's providing for.
I'm sorry, y'all faded out. Say that again.
I was telling him earlier, a good leader always asks for the opinion of the people around him, the people he's providing for, the people he's protecting. He doesn't just make decisions because he feels he can.
True. And on top of that, he values everybody's voice
Right.
and makes a cohesive decision, not just what he thinks.
Right.
He takes into consideration what his wife says.
Right. And
now,
that's
he
important.
Exactly.
That's a
He
real
may
leader.
still say the course of what he's trying to get to, but he may take a different approach. There are more than one way to get out of a state. So he may take a different road, taking in consideration the whole family, not just the one. And then the family can respect his decision when everybody has a chance to voice their opinion.
Right.
That's called being a real leader.
Called being a real leader.
Right.
Right.
Even, head coaches on a team, they're not playing in the game, but you have to hear the players that's out there on the field. And then you
Exactly.
make a
Because
decision.
they're in the thick of it.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh man.
That's good. I like that.
That's great, man.
Should we ask one more question?
Just one more quick question.
Which one should we do? Should we do the one we just asked Steph, or the one about the wedding band?
That's the one we asked Steph about.
Okay.
She's past the wedding band, Steph. That's
okay.
That's minute.
The question says, does intimacy decrease with passing years in relationships and or marriages?
It doesn't decrease if you have different levels of intimacy. For instance, you can have intimacy by communication.
Right.
You can have intimacy when you're on the same page spiritually. You can have intimacy by going grocery shopping. So intimacy is not all about sex.
Right.
For me, intimacy is how we connect emotionally. Because I can teach you how to please me sexually. I know what I like. But I can't make you connect with me emotionally if you're a moron.
Right.
I
agree. Oh, I agree with that.
It's never going to work.
I definitely agree with that. And I think the older you get, you kind of, and then if you're with someone for a long, long time, you start to understand how to connect with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So hopefully you don't lose that intimacy, and hopefully sex is not the only form of intimacy in your relationship.
Oh, if it is, you're in trouble.
Right.
It ain't gonna last.
Well, not only that, because each have a role. Men should love women like they love themselves. If you ever notice, a man can't clean a bathroom, but he can shine the crap out of a car.
I can clean the bathroom.
Okay.
Come on now. I can clean the bathroom.
Not better than me.
No, I can't. Yeah, I
hold
can't.
on.
Yeah, I can't.
Hold on.
I can clean the toilet.
Most men. But hold on.
Yeah.
But most women have a very big problem respecting somebody she thinks is a moron. If I think you dumb, left.
Yeah, you're not going to respect that person.
I'm not going to. You couldn't even say good morning, and I'd not have a problem with it if I think you're an idiot. And so that's why we each have our responsibilities. But we each bring to the table what makes the whole. So my half makes my husband's whole, and his whole makes, together we make one, is what I'm trying to say.
Got you on that.
And can we ask, how long have you and your husband been married?
28 years.
Hey.
Because you hear the wisdom? Are you hearing the wisdom? That's how I knew. I said they got some time in. They put some time.
It's in the blood. That's why.
Oh, look at you.
But
that's
you know
wisdom and experience.
That is true, but it's also taking your marital vows very serious, because no one got to 28 years of marriage without ups and downs, and without looking at somebody saying you a foot drag or whatever else you want to finish that sentence with. But at the end of the day, we come back, we take our emotions out, we speak to each other with respect, and then we agree to disagree. We agree to agree.
That's important.
And my job is to support.
A lot of people can't do that, man, but that's very important to agree to disagree. If someone doesn't agree with the other, it's a lot of disrespect. It's a lot of name calling, all kinds of stuff. We're just saying, you know what? We don't agree on this. We could just agree to disagree, and we could just move forward.
And be okay with that.
And be
still
okay
be
with
okay
it.
and still be respectful.
Now it's just like, we don't agree. We got to attack each other, and we don't move forward. We move backward.
And like she said earlier, you'll never have peace in your house doing it that way.
You let them demons in, it's going to be hard to get them out.
Yeah.
And you have to, if you have a serious conversation, it doesn't get over the phone. Don't have that over the phone. Don't send text messages. That's a face-to-face behind closed doors.
That's these young bucks.
That's between a husband and his wife.
And it should stay between a husband and his wife. Right.
Yeah.
You don't want no outsiders' opinions, and nothing that goes on, good or bad. There should be an understanding where it stays in the house. Now, unless that's something you guys talk about, where you guys are going to, depending on what it is, it should always stay in the house.
A lot of times you need another reasonable person to talk to. Yeah. So I would agree with you halfway. You don't put your entire business out in the street.
Right.
But you do have that one or two
good friend.
That trusted
persons in your life.
Right.
Exactly. That has good sense, because there's no sense in talking to somebody that's
you can't
not reasonable.
Right. No, absolutely.
Hood boogers and nothing like that.
Exactly. Especially someone who's going to tell you, you know what, that's your fault. You're wrong.
They're going to be honest with you. Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's going to tell you you're wrong and sit down.
Absolutely.
Well, Jazzy, we definitely appreciate you.
And we have to have her back.
Oh, we will. We definitely will. We definitely appreciate you answering the phone.
I
You know
enjoyed
what I'm saying?
that conversation.
The line is open all the time with your wisdom, and we need more of it. So we appreciate
Yeah,
you.
because we're still considered newly. Well, we are
Oh, we are.
considered
We definitely are.
newlyweds,
Yeah, we are.
so we're learning.
Yeah,
But it's been a good year. I mean, I'm enjoying the ride so far. It's been a great year.
absolutely.
And we have great people like Jazzy J,
Yeah.
you know, around us. You know,
Listen, any day that I'm above ground is a good day.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Any day.
So thank you again. We love you. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Have a good night.
You
You too.
Bye-bye.
Wow.
Great energy. I love
Yeah.
that. I love hearing, you know,
Positive energy.
positive energy and just getting understanding and wisdom from people, you know, who
That are smart.
been through it. You know?
Yeah.
That's a long time. 28 years?
Yeah, it is. All right, man. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, we had a good story, but we should save it for next time.
Yeah, we'll save it for next time.
It's kind of long.
Yeah, again, first time listeners or listeners who's been with us, if you haven't subscribed, hit the red button, subscribe. Also, you can check us out. Follow us on YouTube, the Thomas Game Podcast, and also on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, any other listening platforms as well. Thomas
Okay.
Game, and we.
I'm hungry.
Yep, me too. We out, man. Peace.